The construction of the pyramids is one of history's most ancient and remains an unresolved mystery. Throughout history, many scholars and scientists have asked and began to wonder the same question. How did the Egyptians build the pyramids? Today in this video, we are going to discuss how the pyramids of Egypt were built and how the era of pyramids ended. Over 100 Egyptian pyramids, including the Great Pyramids of Giza, are regarded as the greatest works of human engineering and architecture. These monuments are still standing after over 4,500 years and remain a mystery to this day. Some ancient Egyptian scriptures discovered can help us understand how the construction of such monuments came about. For many years, historians and scientists have been perplexed by the techniques used in the construction of the Egyptian pyramids. Many controversial speculations about the pyramid's construction have been proposed. The general theory holds that the massive stones were carved from the quarries with copper chisels. These blocks were then dragged and lifted into place. However, the method for moving and positioning these stones is highly contested. The workforce's composition is also hotly debated. The pyramids are thought to have been built with slave labor, but another theory suggests that they were built by tens of thousands of free-skilled workers who worked for a salary. It is clear that the workforce was highly organized and managed to the highest level by following a well-organized and planned three-phase process. Pyramid construction in 3 stages. To build the pyramids perfectly, the workforce relied on a specific process that included 3 important steps: selecting the ideal building site preparation, and raising the blocks. Phase 1. Choosing the perfect building site. The first step in constructing a pyramid was to find a suitable location. Given that the ancient Egyptians truly believed that wherever the sun set was the portal to the afterlife, this had to be on the west bank of the Nile. The pyramids also had to be built on high ground, away from the dangers of flooding during the Nile's inundation. However, it could not be too far away from the Nile bank because the river would be used to transport blocks of fine quality limestone from Tura on the other side of the Nile for the outer casing. The chosen location would be on a desert plateau with a firm rock base capable of supporting the great weight of the pyramid without risk of cracking, given that some of the largest pyramids weigh around 2.5 tons. The location of each pyramid was chosen based on its proximity to the respective king's residence, as the king would need to inspect the development of his burial chamber on a regular basis. Phase 2. Preparing the site. No plans for the pyramid's construction were ever discovered. But the pyramid's construction was not ambiguous, and the measurements used were extremely accurate. The workers had to start by removing the loose sand from the rock in order to lay a solid foundation. The rock base had to then be completely flat. Workers may have accomplished this by erecting low mud walls around the base and cutting channels in a grid pattern across the surface. They would then fill the channels with water and mark the level at which the water would reach. Each pyramid side had to face one of the cardinal points. The builders most likely started with true north and worked out the other directions from there. They may have discovered the true north by observing a specific star in the northern sky. They would then watch the star rise and set and mark its appearance and disappearance on an artificial horizon. They could get a north-south line by bisecting the resulting angle. They had instruments for drawing right angles, so they could have determined east and west. The base had to be perfectly squared next. All 4 sides are the same length, and the corners are at perfect right angles. Phase 3. Raising the blocks. To save time, a rocky outcrop was sometimes used as the pyramid's core. The inner chambers and passages would have been built separately, with the actual pyramid built around them. Some of the royal pyramid builders appear to have changed their minds about the burial chamber's preferred location. The inner pyramid would then be constructed of desert plateau limestone. When the main structure was completed, the pyramid was finished by encasing it in blocks of finely cut and dressed Tura limestone. Lower courses were occasionally made of granite. The stones used in the construction of the pyramids were not small bricks. The pyramid's bricks varied in size. The largest, however, can be found in the king's chamber. These stones are different from regular limestone blocks because they are made of granite. The precise method used to raise the pyramids is unknown. Pulleys were not invented until the time of the Romans. However, the Greek historian Herodotus described the use of levers to raise the blocks from one level to the next. It has also been suggested that workers working in groups used the ramp to move the blocks into place. The ramp could have been raised as the pyramid grew in size, allowing workers to progress to the next level. The main issue with this is that the ramp would have eventually grown to be as large as the pyramid itself, reaching an incredible distance into the desert. There is no evidence of such a structure at any time of the various pyramid sites. Another theory is that the ramp went around the pyramid and was removed once the pyramid was completed. The methods of construction are still hotly debated and remain one of the greatest mysteries of ancient human civilization. Pyramids were still being built during the 5th and 6th dynasties, but the general quality and scale of their construction declined, as did the king's power and wealth. Beginning with King Yunus's pyramid, pyramid builders began to inscribe written accounts of events during the king's reign on the walls of the burial chamber and the rest of the pyramid's interior. These are the earliest considerable religious compositions known from ancient Egypt, known as pyramid texts. Pepi II, the second king of the 6th dynasty, who came to power as a young boy and ruled for 94 years, was the last of the Great Pyramid builders. The Old Kingdom's prosperity was dwindling by his reign, and the pharaoh had lost some of his quasi-divine status as the power of non-royal administrative officials grew. Pepi II's pyramid, completed 30 years into his reign at Saqqara, was much shorter, 172 feet, than others of the Old Kingdom. With Pepi's death, Egypt's kingdom and strong central government virtually collapsed, ushering in the first intermediate period. During the so-called Middle Kingdom period, later kings of the 12th dynasty would return to pyramid building, but never on the scale of the Great Pyramids. Whatever you believe, there's no denying that the Egyptian pyramids are unbelievably spectacular for the time period, and that we'll probably never know how they were built. We can all agree that it took an insane amount of intelligence and manpower, and we're so lucky to still have them after all these years. So that's the end of the video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and press the notification bell so you never miss out on our next videos. Until the next video, take care.